are here today to talk about confidence
or lack thereof.
or lack thereof and what that looks like, how that shows up in your life, like real examples, real stories of the shittiness that unfolds when you have no self-confidence and low self-worth. We're just going to dive into it and share a couple stories.
Right.
And I feel like I had low self-confidence even before I got married, which is really a contributing factor to why I married the person I married and then wound up getting divorced. So,
Amen.
I mean, that's a big problem is you choose the wrong partners when you have
Right.
low self-confidence. But especially after my divorce, then that was kind of like, it was like beating a dead horse. Okay, now I still have low self-confidence and I'm divorced. So I feel like I'm damaged goods. I'm hard to love. No one's going to want me. I have all this baggage, right? It's just like, it just snowballed. And then I was caught in that same pattern of just choosing the wrong partners for the wrong reasons. And so that feeling like I needed somebody to complete me. Hello, Jerry Maguire. Like I wasn't whole all by myself.
Right.
Such a fucked up limiting belief, terrible mindset to have.
Yeah.
Because then I was completely choosing the wrong people. And then hello, divorce number 2. So really it took me that, like going through it a second time to be like, okay, what is going on? Like, why do I keep finding myself in this situation? Why do I keep choosing the wrong partners? And obviously you get down to the root of the problem. Like it was me.
Yeah.
It was me and how I felt about myself, what I believed I deserved. And so that's how it was showing up in my life, was like choosing the wrong relationships, having to get divorced. And yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. I think, when we had that session yesterday in the next chapter, you guys, and that's a membership that we offer for, divorced moms and soon to be divorced dads, to get their life kind of back on track. We gave a training on how to get confidence and to kind of give people the tools to not be the way most of us end up in that divorce realm of just having low self-esteem, a lot of shame and guilt, and not knowing how to build that back. And I know for me, I was super confident as a child. I mean, I was athletic, I was, in the cool crowd or whatever, as stupid as that sounds. I didn't have a lot of issues in high school. College, same thing. It was fine. But it was like, as soon as college was over, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know, I was supposed to be a teacher and I went into that. And I was with the same guy I was with through college because I was a monogamous dater. Like I was like, boom, 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 boom. I had a boyfriend since 7th grade, had one 8th grade, had one freshman. I mean, I just always dated. So who I was somebody that always was with somebody. Like I never was alone from like 7th grade on. I always had a boyfriend. I mean, there wasn't a summer that I didn't have a boyfriend. And so when I got married right out of college, a couple of years or a year later, to my ex-husband, it was like I just mirrored into him and I lost who I was, and I like to talk more about how I was as a married woman. I was unrecognizable. My confidence was so low during my marriage because I was molding to whatever he wanted.
I did that so many times.
If he said jump, if he said jump, I was like, how high? If he said wear your hair long, I was like, how long? If he said no thong, I was like, bring on the granny panties. I mean, I did everything this man said to do, down to how I folded laundry, to how I drove, to how far I drove. I mean, he was checking my mileage and I was like, at first I thought it was flattering. And then I realized it was crazy. But I couldn't get out of it. And my confidence to leave him was so low. Like I couldn't leave him because I was embarrassed because I eloped. I was embarrassed because, I lived in a town I didn't know people. Like so many things didn't allow me to leave him because I had no self-worth. Like I just thought, I'm a married woman now. I'm a mother. I have children with him. I have to stay. And I didn't have the ability to leave. I was just this man controlled what I ate, what I drank, how I looked, how I smelled. I wasn't allowed to wear perfume, and I did it.
And sometimes you do that, even if the person isn't necessarily controlling, but if you don't know who you are, if you don't have a sense of who you are, you get into a relationship and you kind of like mold into the person that you're with. Like, I was dating this biker guy and like, I was wearing more black and I was listening to different music and like watching different movies that I wasn't watching because like that was the stuff that he liked.
Right. I know. And I think with Jared now, I'm like, no, I don't like he likes horror movies. I'm like, I'm not watching that shit. I'll go in my room and read a fucking book. Like, I don't feel like I have to do things with Jared that he likes that I don't like. Where before in my marriage, I was like, my ex-husband was into cars and motorcycles. So you know what I was? I was at every fucking car show and behind every motorcycle there possibly was. And I did. I didn't know who I was, so I molded myself into who he was.
Mhm.
And now that's scary as shit to think about because now I'm like, fuck you. I'll do whatever I want. I don't even recognize who I was then. But what it makes me scared about is all of our young girls that we're raising, like,
Mhm.
and even young men. Like, if we don't show them as parents, as moms, who we are and encourage them to be so authentic and have confidence and all these things, they too will go into a relationship. I caught my daughter doing it just vividly, like just one guy she dated. I was like, "Whoa, I don't recognize you, and I know you don't recognize yourself. You are chameleoning yourself into this boy. Absolutely fucking not, because you are a cool girl all on your own." And I asked her a few pointed questions, and she's like, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't see myself anymore. I'm like, gone. See ya.
Mhm.
So that whole
And it can
mirroring thing,
happen so
so
like,
fast.
gradually that you don't even realize it. Like,
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be little things that start like, "Oh, I don't really like when you wear your hair like that," or some little just a little
Subtle.
thing, and then it's like it grows into, "Oh, I'm wearing certain clothes,"
Yes.
or, "I can't go out with certain people," or, "I can't do certain things because he doesn't
Mhm.
like it."
Yeah, my ex-husband, he started with the compliment, like, "I love when your hair is long. Oh, it was so pretty when we first started dating. It was so long." So I was like, "Okay, he loves long hair." And then when I would get a trim, he'd be like, "Oh, please don't cut it anymore. I like it when it's long." So then I'm like, God, it was in my armpits, and I'm like, "I fucking hate my hair long," but he likes it, so I'll keep it. And I'm
Mhm.
like sitting here today going, "Bitch, what were you thinking?" Like, he would subtly say things like, "Man, I really like when you wear a thong for me, but you don't need to be wearing that at school because we don't want anybody getting the wrong idea." And I was like, okay, he's somewhat jealous, or feels like somebody might hit on me if they see that I'm wearing a thong for whatever reason. And then I would get to where I would never wear a thong. Like, and it's what I wanted to wear. I was a
Mhm.
PE teacher. I was wearing tight, leggings and stuff like that. So I'm sporting the granny panties underneath the leggings because that was what made him happy. And I just caught myself doing all of these slow, gradual things to where my mom and dad were like, "Who the fuck are you?" When I would
Yeah.
come home, they're like, "You're bringing him a plate of food? Why? He can fucking get up and get his own plate of food. Like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's the way he likes things." And my mom is just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was painful to watch. But now, as I have older children, I'm starting to realize they too need to have that confidence. Otherwise, they will start only doing things that their partner wants them to do. And it's like, no, you should find somebody that lets you just be your own free bird and just do whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you want and not mold you into something.
And you have to get there on your own first, right? That's the thing
Yeah.
too. It's like it's not just finding somebody who will help you get there, but like it
You got to
changes
find
the
it on
whole
your own.
dynamic of the relationship if you're already there before you're even
Yeah.
meeting this person because you said you have those expectations. Like finding yourself doing things for you even outside of relationships like when I had really low self-confidence and like this I didn't sing in front of everybody. I always
Right.
loved to sing like since I was a little girl, but I was mortified to perform like in front of others. I was like a
Yeah.
closeted singer, and that was just for me. So I had to learn to build my self-confidence and push myself outside of my comfort zone and do things that really scared me and that I was uncomfortable with to like help myself open up. And so I like went to like auditions and I joined a band and like I started singing and like the more I did it, the more confident I felt.
Yeah.
And so but that was just for me and that was something that I can do. And then whether I'm in a relationship or not, it took me forcing myself to do something I was scared of doing to then build my confidence. And now this is like a facet of me. It's a part of me is like I'm a
Yeah.
singer, I'm in a band, like I do all these things and it's fun and it's empowering and it's exciting
Yeah.
and I look forward to it. And that's how you like really find yourself and get to know
Mhm.
yourself is you have to kind of get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have
Right.
to do things that feel weird because you're not used to doing them. But if there's a desire in you, if you have this
Mhm.
inkling of like interest in something, that's there for a reason. because
Yeah.
we all have different ones. Some people have this thing with, they want to learn how to horseback ride. That's not what I like. It's not, that's not in me, but if it's in you, it's in you for
Right.
a reason. So
Yeah.
you have to stay in alignment. That's what that is. You have to pay attention to those feelings and those thoughts inside of you, and then follow that. And then that's how you
Mhm.
find yourself, and you can be, like we say, your authentic self. It's like, well, what do you want? What kind of things
Right.
are you naturally drawn to? Why aren't you going towards that thing?
And I think for a lot of divorced parents, especially moms, we don't do stuff for ourselves where we don't even take the time to figure out if we like singing or if we like horseback riding. We think when we get divorced, we have to dive deep into momming and only jobs because we got to pay these bills, and we don't do anything for ourselves. We stop taking care of ourselves. We stop having friend circles because our life now is eat, sleep, and breathe this divorce process and our kids and making sure we can pay the bills, and we don't take that time to rebuild ourselves and to get that confidence back and take care of our bodies and to figure out what our interests are. I mean, when I stopped being married and I got my confidence back, I went and got my motorcycle license. I went and got my conceal and carry class. I went and got my scuba diving certificate. Like, I'm an avid learner. I was like, I have all this independence now. I want to go back to learning new things. I want to challenge myself. It was uncomfortable being the only chick in a motorcycle class. I mean, I was the only woman with a whole bunch of like young men that wanted to get their motorcycle license. And I did it. I did it just as good as they did it. But it was very nerve wracking to go do that. My conceal and carry class was with a bunch of other women that wanted to feel safe, and they took the class together. I took it with my mom. And it was very empowering to know that I have the decision if I want to do certain things. Like,
Mhm.
I can go take this class. I can go take this class. And I
Yeah.
was trying to figure out who I was. Like, where is my interest? And I love the water. So we went and did the scuba, and that's what we're leaving in a couple days to go scuba diving. That's our love. We love being in the water. And it just so happens that we have the same love that Jared and I do. But outside of that, we don't have a lot of same exact. I love to golf. He fucking sucks at golf. I could go golf all day long. And just because we're together doesn't mean I stopped golfing. It's just not something he does. He goes and
Yeah.
does, he's a gamer. I am never going to sit and game. But knowing those things about yourself, that I hate gaming. I think it's a waste of fucking time and energy. He loves it though. And that's what
Mhm.
he likes to spend his time doing. He might think going out and golfing for 3 hours is a way you're chasing a fucking little white ball around. That's what he said. Like, how fucking fun is that? I'm like, it's actually a lot of fun for me. But having
Right.
the confidence to say, I like golfing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and watch you game because I think that's a waste of time too. So guess what? We can separate. When
Yeah.
I was married, I would have never been allowed to separate, but I would have never not gone up to the firehouse and sit for 3 hours and watch him wash a fire truck because that's what he told me to go do. So I went and did it. I sat through 3 hours and watched him wash trucks because that's what he wanted me to do. Even though I'm like, man, I got a laundry list of shit at home I could be doing, but he
Mhm.
wants me here, so I'll do that. I didn't speak up. I didn't have the confidence to be like, I think this is dumb. I'm gonna watch you wash a truck. Like, I could be doing all this shit over here. So I didn't have that confidence married. I have it now. I mean, Jared and I know we have no problem disagreeing. We have no problem not doing the same thing. And I value that because, like you and I both, we spent time with ourselves and we figured out these are my non negotiables. You are never going to talk me into something I don't want to do. You're never going to pressure me. I'm never going to tolerate pressure, but I'm with somebody that doesn't even do that. So I think for moms, you got to take the time to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
You really do. Not just for your future, relationships, but just for yourself.
Yeah.
That confidence of knowing who you are is I mean, I have no
It
question
changes
in that.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said too, just speaking up and like setting boundaries. That, like so many
Mhm.
of us as women, as people pleasers, we really struggle to set boundaries, and that's where speaking up for yourself comes from too. Is like getting that confidence and understanding
Yeah.
that you deserve to communicate your needs and your limits. Like
Yeah.
that, there's nothing wrong with that. And if somebody has an issue with that, that is a them problem.
Yeah.
And having the confidence to be able to just stick with it. I actually just saw this video. It made me think of you yesterday. Of this woman was explaining how when you set a boundary, just stop at the end of the sentence. Don't explain where it's
Plain
coming from.
yes. Yes.
Don't you don't have to justify anything. You just set the boundary, and then you shut your mouth and you watch how that person reacts to your boundary. And
Mhm.
that will tell you a lot about that person and whether or not they respect you and your needs and your limits.
Yes.
Because the other day you had said, you told somebody no, you weren't going to go do something, and they were like, "You're not?" Like, what,
Uh-huh.
and you felt like you had to like come up with a, when really we don't. Like that's
Yep.
just kind of a habit, right? Really, it's just like, no. And I don't need to explain to you any further. This is how I feel.
Yep.
I'm telling you I'm not going to go. You don't need to know anything. This is not a fucking investigation. You do not have a light in my face. I'm not in a private room. Like,
Right. Right.
I tell you no, and that's it.
That's it. That's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
That comes with practice, and that comes with
Mhm.
confidence, and not feeling like you have to over explain or you have to justify or you have to say
Right.
anything. It's just like, no, I'm not going to go, or no, I'm not interested in doing that thing.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly. Exactly. So you guys, we talked a lot about, our own experiences of when we had low self-esteem. So yesterday we have three options for you to really get some help with confidence. And the first one being, we run the next chapter. It's a private Facebook group. It's $30 a month, and we give trainings every Monday, and then we interact with our group the rest of the week. And I'm just going to give you a little spoiler alert. It was common sense known yesterday that weight and working out and our bodies was a big confidence issue in our group. So Leah and I are going to probably go above and beyond in that group in the next month or so and really help those women get to that level of feeling better about themselves with their body, and start giving them, recipes and working out with them, and doing stuff, and have some more accountability. So the Facebook group is one thing. The other thing is that, Leah, don't you offer something about confidence that you
I
can?
do.
Yes.
I
I
actually
mean,
have a
come on.
really kick-ass course. It's an online course and it's self-paced, so you can take as long as you need to do. But I've jam-packed it with everything that you need, all of the
Right.
tools to shift all that negative self-talk, the self-doubt, to build your self-esteem, to know your worth,
Absolutely.
and to build your confidence again. There are actionable steps and exercises that you can use right now to completely transform how you feel about yourself, so that you can start making
Yeah.
decisions that are more aligned with who you want to
Mhm.
be. Set those boundaries, choose the right partners, feel fulfilled on your own, find yourself again. You can get it all in the confidence course.
Right. And the third and final one, guys, is just come hang out with us. I mean, Leah and I, we offer group coaching. It's taking off. Our groups are amazing, full of moms, soon to be dads. We're opening up for dads in September. That's more to come. But we are offering up to, women just sit and talk. They get on a Zoom with us and they just talk. And this is her backyard. I mean, she knows how to help you get your confidence back up. And along with just the journey of, maybe you're spending too much time in your divorce. Maybe you're spending too much time worrying about your ex. And part of that is your low self-esteem and your low confidence. And we can get you back on the trail with that. So if you found this helpful, share it with somebody. If you have a girlfriend that's down the dumps, that you see her making mistake after mistake because she doesn't have good confidence, send this to her. Let her listen to this. Let her see the resources that we have to offer. But we are going to be back again soon enough with another training. We value you guys being here, and we'll see you soon.